Todd, as a young man, this is the Mecca, this is the place you want to be. This is it.
So a capacity crowd. After months of uncertainty, we finally have a fight. Punch, counter punch. You couldn't write a script like this. This is like Rocky versus Apollo. You can't make a mistake at the heavyweight level and not expect to be punished for it. Every time they throw a shot, they get countered. Swing and a miss for that jab. This fighter's completely content to sit back and let you make the first move. That's where they thrive.
Counterpuncher is my favorite kind of fighter. A good counterpuncher, they're the people that make the history of our sport.
That jab misses. Swing and a miss with that left hook. Punch. Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. Halfway through the round, and it's pretty much even Steven.
Skill for skill, tap for tap. Just like a match made in heaven.
This fighter is all about finesse, using a lot of angles and lateral movement.
This is what makes outside fighters so good. Their footwork is second to none. It's as fast as their hands.
Missing with the hook. Right when you think the pace will slow down, it picks up. Looks like they're going to try and be a little more elusive now. A perfect counter shot. Neither fighter willing to slow down. It's knockout or bust for both of these fighters. You know the scorecards are going to be all over the place in this one. Let's talk about Johnson in that last round. Well, he is in big trouble here. He may have been saved by the bell. And there's the bell to start round two. It has been all one-way traffic. How do they turn this around?
They've had 1 minute to recover. Now they've got to bluff it. They've got to bluff it. They've got to come out now and style it out. Get on the back foot. Jab. Rest on the jab. Be smart and pop until your legs come back. Then put the pressure on.
Well done with that counter shot. Positives and negatives in the heavyweight division are the same. You can win the fight with one punch, and you can lose the fight in one punch. Looks like he's going to move around the ring a little bit more. Try some stick and move. There's a counter shot. When are we going to see a jab from these two? The courage on display here is incredible. This fighter has determined that they can walk through any punches that their opponent throws, and that's a very confident spot to be in.
Todd, you know what? Sometimes on the belly of the ring with fights like that, and you punch them, you just want to run. You want that spaceship to come and lift you out there because you think, what the hell am I going to do now?
This has been a very competitive round as we reach the midway point.
Perfectly matched. skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them more than happy.
Oh my word! Jack Johnson on the defense. What's he going to do to get out of this trouble? I don't believe it. Jack Johnson is down. How about that impact? Let's see that again in slow motion.
Where did that come from? What a shot. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven.
So this was an unexpected turn of events. What happens next?
Oh, he can smell blood. Look at that. He's putting down once. He knows what shot works and where to land it. Then try and do it again. He's just not got to get trigger happy.
Catch and shoot. Both men step back for just a moment. It's been all one-way traffic with just 10 seconds to go in the round. Talk about Johnson in that last round. So it's plan B time after being knocked down in that round.
I love the response.
There's the bell to start round 3. Got to get the momentum shift coming their way. What can they do here?
That knockdown we just saw was a heavy knockdown. I'd be very, very surprised if he'll come out fresh as a daisy. That's not going to happen. He's got to hustle now. He's got to bluff it.
Deciding to let it all hang out here in this round. Lucky that hook didn't score. These are heavyweights, but I tell you what, that hand speed and footwork, they look like middleweights.
I've never seen a fighter so fast in my life. How do you deal with this? You've got to hope they run out of steam.
This fighter expending a lot of energy in this round. What heart, what desire, but at what cost? Perfect counter lands. One punch could end this fight for either of these two heavyweights.
This could be really intimidating, Todd. If you know somebody's got the punch power, someone's got the speed, it can be intimidating. Just depends on how confident you are as a fighter.
Big shots from both these fighters. Got to be careful, though.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. Swing and a miss with the jab. They both want the knockout. And that jab just missed with the left hand. Unlucky to miss with that jab. Starting to take some deep breaths now, but still fighting hard. A very competitive round with 10 seconds left. Let's talk about Johnson in that last round. From this moment forward, he cannot afford to lose another round.
Wow, it's like two different leagues.
You've got to go out there. Great round. Now relax.
There's the bell for round 4. So the fight will continue. How do they turn things around?
That was a tough last round. Now you've got to make sure he doesn't put it on you, and that's what he's going to try and do. So tie him up, hold him, lean on him. Don't get drawn into a fight. Not yet. Not until your senses have come back.
And he scores with the counter. The old adage is, no matter how much speed you've got, timing beats speed.
Having so much speed, what happens to your opponent is you get cut to ribbons, and that's where the referee has to jump in and stop the fight. And you know this is going to happen, so you rush your work. You think, I've got to get him inside close round.
They have no respect for each other's punching power. Shot, and he goes down. We have got to see that again in slow motion.
Even I've got...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So this fight will continue, but how can they get back into this bout?
What resilience to be down and to be back up again, to get yourself back into fight again, to show your fitness and determination. Maximum respect.
Pretty good start the first half of this round.
No doubt at all. You can see who's winning. You can see who's got it in hand. You can see who's comfortable. Or it's a bit of a mousetrap.
Being exerted here. What do you think of this fight so far, Johnny?
It's the one who draws first blood, Todd. That's what you've got to look at. If you hit and you know you're in there with a banger, you've got to be on it, and you've got to be confident.
No rest for the weary. Jab won't score. The Galveston Giant in real trouble now. What a stunner. Jack Johnson goes to the canvas. And in this replay, you can see it. That body punch folded him like a lawn chair.
Shot from the...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're out.
You saw it here live, a knockout win. Congratulations.
Well, there's no argument right there. You say it. Night-night.
Made of stone, we're just palaces made out of flesh and bone, waiting for our time to shine, to come home. Lord, please bless my castle of sand, waiting on a battle sword, handle all in my hand. The war force is mortal with my door with demands, more important than the fortune that you poured in my pan. From freestyling to recording advance, can you please reinforce all my borders and bands? I should've put it towards some plans. Want a forest, gotta water some plants. Normally ignoring the branch is par for the course, but when you hold a culture, you can't. Can't parkour over a part, you gotta march forth over your art. And for your fans, when you corner, gotta shorten your stance, lessen your tails, Philly shell, don't orbit a dance. You hit a bell, then report to the band, and do whatever that the chorus commands. And for the grand, talented all along, think we're fortresses made of stone.
I'm Todd Grisham, and there's Owens, the great. What a pleasure to be in this unique environment. What a fight we expect this one to be. Both of these athletes primed and ready. The jab not finding its target. Counter punch right up the middle. Failing to score with that right hook. Misses with the right uppercut. When you're fighting a counterpuncher, the feint can be such a good weapon. Pretend you're going to punch, make the counterpuncher throw a punch, and then you counter them.
To beat a counterpuncher, you've got to take them out of their pace. Do not wait for them, because if you wait, they'll pepper and pop you all night long. Rush them.
Not a lot of punch output. Thought there might be more action here. Nice counter. Nice counter shot. He threw the hook, didn't land. The big Ukrainian in big trouble. Looks like they've shaken it off.
Now they've got to wake up. They've got to get on the back foot, clear the head a little bit, then jump back into it again. It's all about the hustle. Get back on it.
Some nice exchanges from both men in this round.
Perfectly matched. Skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them more than happy.
We've seen this fighter in the past go 12 rounds and not have a mark on their face. That's what happens when you stick and move, you hit and you don't get hit.
Do not give an outside fighter time to think. You've got to make the fighter panic. You've got to rush the fighter into doing things they don't normally do.
Do you believe this? Who's willing to go where the other fighter won't? Throws the jab, but it doesn't score. Despite what the judges' scorecards read, there are no losers in this one. Let's talk about Alexander Usyk in that last round. At this point, you got to believe he can't win on the scorecards. On to the second round. So the fight will continue. How do they turn things around?
They've had 1 minute to recover. Now they've got to bluff it. They've got to bluff it. They've got to come out now and style it out. Get on the back foot, jab, rest on the jab. Be smart and pop until your legs come back. Then put the pressure on.
Not going to see as much footwork as the smaller weight classes in the heavyweight division, but we don't care. We want the heavy fists. Misses with the straight left. He misses with that straight left. That counter shot lands. counter punch. Well, Johnny, it's still early on, but what do you think about what we're seeing so far?
That power might be the do or die. That power might be the equalizer.
A right hook catching air. Nice job slipping that left uppercut. Every time they throw a shot, they get countered. Beautiful counter punch. Catch and shoot. Lucky to have avoided that uppercut. This fighter has determined that they can walk through any punches that their opponent throws, and that's a very confident spot to be in.
This is when you get in the ring feeling like you're King Kong, because you know you've got a chin that is not going to get dented.
No rest for the weary. Good defense on that right hook. A very competitive round with 10 seconds left. Talk about Alexander Usyk in that last round. That bell could not have come soon enough for this guy.
Needs a knockout without a doubt.
On to the third. Safe to say that last round was a nightmare. Let's see if we can turn it around here.
This is one of those situations. You've just been hurt. You've got to get out there again. Be smart. Be sharp. Don't be a fool. Don't get suckered in. Make him fight.
And finally, Muhammad Ali goes down. Thank goodness we've got instant replay. We get to see it again.
A shot from the gods took him out.
One, two, three, four, five. Listen to me. Are you okay?
The referee says we will fight on. Not sure about this one.
Some fighters, when this happens, this can be heartbreaking. Some fighters, it makes them angry. They want to get back into the mix again. I want to know, what sort of character are we looking at here?
When you're a power puncher, you're not as concerned with how many punches you throw. It's about how many you land and how hard they are.
It's the one who draws first blood, Todd. That's what you've got to look at. If you're there and you know you're in there with a banger, you've got to be on it, but you've got to be confident.
That hook won't. The referee will send them to the corner and take a look at the cuts. Wow, so the referee is not going to stop it and the fight continues. Punch lands. These are heavyweights, but I tell you what, that hand speed and footwork, they look like middleweights.
What can they change? Can they slow the pace down? Can they hope to knock them out early? What can they do? They've got to concentrate and relax. Because you know what you can do in the gym, you can do it in a fight. They've got to relax.
Counter punches have to hurt. You can tell who's stronger and who's faster. You'd like to see more jabs. Final 10 seconds here, and the corner better get warmed up. They've got some work to do. Talk about Ali in that last round. Boy, this next round is going to be crucial considering the knockdown we just witnessed.
You've been put down, you've got to think right, survive and then give it back the next rounds.
I like that round. Good round. You feel good? Good, man.
Switch on, get your boxing back together and go out there and put it back on him this round.
Straights down the middle, can't miss him. Great work. Stay focused. Don't let back into the fight.
On to the fourth we go. His eyes look pretty clear here, Johnny. How do you think he's going to do after being knocked down in the last round?
What a knockdown. 1 minute, you need 1 hour to get over a shot like that. Now it's down to conditioning. Now it's down to mental strength and preparation. It's how you are going to deal with this.
What do you think of what we've seen so far from these two boxers, Johnny?
You've got to be courageous when you get in there with someone that's bigger, stronger, and faster. You've just got to use brain then.
Can't find a home for that jab. The courage on display here is incredible. They hit like heavyweights, but they move like middleweights. Truly elite level stuff here.
Now this is about desire. This is about character. This is about want.
Left hook just missed. Well, they're going deep into the gas tank on this round. Big shots from both these fighters. Got to be careful, though.
Skill for skill, tap for tap. Just like a match made in heaven.
Make a mistake at the heavyweight level and not expect to be punished for it. Not a lot of punch output. Thought there would be some more action here. Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. This fighter has been extremely aggressive so far, Johnny, but how do they keep it up over the distance of this fight?
This is about ego. Get your ego in check, Todd, because if you fight a man that is used to doing this, he's confident and comfortable doing this, why are you giving him that chance to dance that dance? Step out of the way, box him. Frustrate him, because if you let him get away with it, he'll close you down.
Right hook. Time they drop their guard, they get caught. You know the scorecards are going to be all over the place in this one. Let's talk about Alexander Usyk in that last round. What would you tell this guy? He's got to do something different.
Every second, every minute of this fight is important.
Win the round when you can.
Time for the fifth round. Let's see how they bounce back here in this round.
That was a tough last round. Now you've got to make sure he doesn't put it on him. That's what he's going to try and do. So tie him up, hold him, lean on him. Don't get drawn into a fight. Not yet. Not until your senses have come back.
He threw a punch and just got countered. There's a counter shot. Which fighter will say no mas? Can't land that jab. There's nothing quite like a big heavyweight fight. Everything can change with one punch.
I've seen certain fighters that can depend on just their power alone. Forget tactics. They know the second they touch you, it's done. That's where the confidence comes from.
Starting to take some deep breaths now, but still fighting hard. Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. Deciding to let it all hang out here in this round. And he wasn't ready for that counter punch. And he scores with the counter. How about that time counter shot? The straight right just misses. One punch changes everything in this division. It's the heavyweights.
Don't get trigger happy, because all of a sudden you're going to be gassing yourself out trying to get that shot, and that's when they catch you.
Right when you think the pace will slow down, it picks up. The jab just got blocked. Very close round with 10 seconds to go. Let's talk about Alexander Usyk in that last round. Well, he is glad to have heard that bell.
You know, I've been in fights like that. When you...
It's a tough fight.
This is the beginning of round 6. It has been all one-way traffic. How do they turn this around?
Now he knows he's been hurt. He's going to come out and put the pressure on. He's going to throw the kitchen sink at you. You've got to be ready for that. Don't fight fire with fire. Hold him off. Be smart, because he's going to try and put you under pressure. He knows your legs have gone. He knows your head's not cleared. Be sharp.
We'll try and relax a little bit now. Fight a little differently. Usyk might go down here. What an upset. And it appears they weathered the storm. How? I'm not sure.
Got caught sleeping on the job. What do? You step back, steady yourself, recompose yourself, then boom, back into it. But do not make those mistakes. This is the wrong place to fall asleep.
Generally speaking, you don't watch heavyweights to see a boxing match. You want to see a fist fight.
Sometimes when you get in there with someone that's so powerful, you got to think him. You've just got to be smarter than him. You've got to be like a little Fagin and pickpocket him.
Nice job to block that uppercut. Good counter punching. Punch caught him clean. Nice counter shot. It's like a game of joust. They both got their swords. They're slinging it. Every time he throws a punch, a receipt is coming right back. Beautiful counter shot. That jab misses. Well done with that counter shot. And he blocks the left uppercut. Swing and a miss with the hook. This round's still up for grabs with just 10 seconds to go. Talk about Alexander Usyk in that last round. And a round that seemed like an eternity for them finally comes to a close. Here we go. It's round 7. Off their stools and ready to go. Let's hope this round is more competitive.
They've had 1 minute to recover. Now they've got to bluff it. They've got to bluff it. They've got to come out now and style it out. Get on the back foot, jab, rest on the jab. Be smart and pop until your legs come back. Then put the pressure on.
Well, Johnny, has anything surprised you here as we enter the final frames of this battle?
They know the second they touch you, it's done. They're that powerful.
Good body shot. Haven't seen a lot of those. A perfect counter lands. Can't score with that jab. Left uppercut doesn't score. Endurance is becoming a factor. You can see this fighter having a hard time getting out of the way of the punches, and they're not throwing as many on their own.
Now you've got two fighters that are absolutely shattered. What gets you through? Willpower. Calm, because if you panic, you get desperate. If you get desperate, you make mistakes. If you make mistakes, you get knocked out.
Both of these fighters have had their moments.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
Punch, counter punch. You would not want to be hit by this guy. Trust me. Perfect counter shot. A lot of effort being exerted here. In the early rounds of a fight, you'll see two boxers feel each other out, test each other's power, and I think this boxer has decided I can walk through anything that lands.
Because you've got a good chin doesn't mean you've got leather skin. It means you can still get caught. So you've got to go for those pop areas over the eyebrow, the cheekbone. You just got to try and cut them, skin them, go for speed.
They exchange punches. This round could go either way. 10 seconds to go. Let's talk about Alexander Usyk in that last round. Well, this is the time that the trainer needs to come in and say something special. This fighter needs... And we enter the 8th round. That corner has got to find a way to get some momentum behind their fighter.
This is one of those situations. You've just been hurt. You've got to get out there again. Be smart. Be sharp. Don't be a fool. Don't get suckered in. Make him fight your fight. Hold him. Tie him up just until your head clears again and your legs come back again. Because if you don't, he's going to pop you off.
This fighter expending a lot of energy in this round. There's a scoring blow. And so far, the offense has been better than the defense. Nice counter punch. Well, Johnny, as you know, there's a fine line between being aggressive and being too aggressive.
Todd, look back in history. Sugar Ray Leonard against Roberto Duran. The first fight, Sugar Ray Leonard tried to fight, stand there toe-to-toe with him. The second fight, he thought, this guy's aggressive. He's nasty. He'll do everything to get the win. I've got to box him. I've got to frustrate him. I've got to humiliate him and show him how good a boxer I am. That's the only way you beat an aggressive fighter. Show your boxing skills. Step out the way. Don't fight fire with fire. Use brain over brawn.
Can they figure out the combination to this safe?
Skill for skill, tap for tap. Just like a match made in heaven.
That punch is beginning to take its toll. They block that right hook. One of the best attributes to have in boxing has nothing to do with boxing. It's how well you can take a punch to the face.
I've seen some fighters with a granite chin. You could hit them with a sledgehammer, they are not going to move. But then I've seen some mad punchers with a chin like a crisp. As soon as you touch them, they're gone. And this is the danger spot.
They need to be careful they don't punch themselves out here. Good idea, but misses with the left hook. A very competitive round with 10 seconds left. Pretty lopsided decision there, a unanimous one.
They've done it before, now they're doing it again, and look what's happened. A unanimous decision. What a way, what tactics, what a game plan, and what a result.
Real generals back in the building. Trust. Tell a man ease up. Getting my peas up, won't get a feel up. Is she in feeler? Food in the freezer. Them man try step with the heater. That's why my G's them roll with a squeezer. Expensive gas for the meter. Call me the teacher. True man I leading, call me a leader. Getting my peas up, won't get a feel up. Is she in feeler? Food in the freezer. Them man try step with the heater. That's why my G's them roll with a squeezer. Expensive gas for the meter. Call me the teacher. True man I leading, call me a leader. Pull up on a set, I might let man know what time that this is. If man move wicked, make man swim with the sharks and fishes. Respect my wishes, got bare creps and I step like kisses. And my fit stay clean like dishes. That's why gal wanna give man kisses. Gal wanna give man hugs. I don't drink and I don't do drugs. I used to wear my heart on a sleeve. That's why nowadays man I don't do love. Fake love might get a man killed. Fake love might get a man drilled. I had to tell them let a man heal. Tell a man ease up. Getting my peas up, won't get a feel up. Is she in feeler? Food in the freezer. Them man try step with the heater. That's why my G's them roll with a squeezer. Expensive gas for the meter. Call me the teacher. True man I leading, call me a leader. Down for the anarchy, them man I sing to the feds like Valerie. Any violations, man I see casualty. Even my manager still can't manage me. Non-stop working, down for the salary. Everyday engine, burning a calorie. Deep meditation, man can't channel me. I told them man recently, man's been on the deepest frequency. Girls that I love keep on leaving me. When I die they'll keep on grieving me. Gotta deal with this thing evenly. Gotta live this life, just breathe with me. Bad man can't make peace with me. Sit at the table and eat with me. Tell a man ease up. Getting my peas up, won't get a feel up. Is she in feeler? Food in the freezer. Them man try step with the heater. That's why my G's them roll with a squeezer. Expensive gas for the meter. Call me the teacher. True man I leading, call me a leader. Getting my peas up, won't get a feel up. Is she in feeler? Food in the freezer. Them man try step with the heater. That's why my G's them roll with
Welcome to the WBC Arena. What a night we expect this to be. I'm Todd Grisham. Alongside me, Johnny Nelson.
The pleasure's always...
It's Roy Jones Jr. He won... So here is...
This bout...
And this one has all... We have high hopes and aspirations for this fight. Missing with that jab. A straight right just misses. A perfect counter lands. All the talking has been done. It's time to start doing the walking.
You have some fighters that are big show, big arena fighters, and they bask in this, they love this, they are born for this. You have other fighters where this would be like the rabbit in the headlights.
Swinging big and missing big with that hook. Punch, counter punch. Do you believe this? Sometimes when you're fighting a counter fighter, the rounds can get a little boring. You get trigger shy because you know if you throw a punch, one is coming right back at you.
You're fighting a counter puncher, you've got a dummy shot. Make them react from that, then react then. I know it's hard to think that way, but counter punchers, they're watching your every move, that every twitch.
You gotta like what you're seeing as we reach the halfway point of this round.
Perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them more than happy.
They exchange punches. They've got to use their jab better in this fight. Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. A perfect counter shot. And he scores with the... Canelo Alvarez just got rocked in a big way. That was going to be a knockdown at least.
Defense, defense, defense is everything because they got shot once. They know they can get caught again. So for now, just defense, work on defense, blocking and stopping and shooting.
That counter punch caught him clean. Throw a shot, they get countered. Let's talk about Roy Jones in that last round. The game plan does not seem to be working here. What's he have to do differently?
Wow, it's like two different leagues.
Just boxing. Great round, great round.
Well, we've just taken a big breath, and here we go again. Let's see how they bounce back here in this round.
They've had 1 minute to recover. Now they've got to bluff it. They've got to bluff it. They've got to come out now and style it out. Get on the back foot, jab, rest on the jab. Be smart and pop until your legs come back. Then put the pressure on.
And that hook misses. Roy Jones Jr. in trouble. Didn't wait too long to get back and get engaged.
Got caught sleeping on the job. What do? You step back, steady yourself, recompose yourself, then boom, back into it. But do not make those mistakes. This is the wrong place to fall asleep.
Nice counter shot. Catch and shoot. The straight right just misses. If you're a counter puncher, then basically you do the counter attack. You let them get their punch off first, and then you answer in kind.
Reaction is second to none. It's the blink of an eye, and they're waiting for any little trick you do. So you've got to fight a counter puncher smart.
A real good back and forth between these two fighters.
Skill for skill, tap for tap, just like a match made in heaven.
There's a counter shot. Swing and a miss with that hook. You'd like to see someone use a jab here to establish a boxing presence, but no, they just want to fight. Back and forth they go. Beautiful counter shot. Who's willing to go where the other fighter won't? Got out of the way of that right hook. Good counter punching. The jab not finding its target. Despite what the judges' scorecards read, there are no losers in this one. Let's talk about Roy Jones in that last round. I promise you, all three judges here are going to give that round to you-know-who.
I seriously hope the judges kept their eye on this fight, because if they haven't, there's going to be absolute uproar.
Now go on the end of that jab and then just start gathering your pace, win this round back. Get him up.
On to the third. They've got all the momentum on their side after that last round. Let's see what they do here.
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing, because you've won that hands down.
This fight has a real good flow to it. That hook was off target. Just when you think they're going to have a lull in the action, we get it heated back up. Fighter is not interested in throwing one shot at a time. They throw combinations and they throw them non-stop.
The middleweights are the best you can ever come across. Obviously, the glamour weight is a heavyweight, but the middleweight is the size of the average man or woman. When you get in there and you're letting the shots go, you've got power, you've got speed, you've got pace. You can stand, you can dance, you can do everything. We can look back in history. Do you know the amazing fights at middleweight are ridiculous? That is what writes our history books.
Big shots from both these fighters. Got to be careful, though.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
Not a lot of punch output. Thought there would be some more action here. Nice job blocking the left hook. Hook misses. Well, Johnny, as you know, there's a fine line between being aggressive and being too aggressive.
Middleweight always gives us a class. If you've got two class middleweight fighters, you're in for action. I'm quite sure right now, if you know your boxing, there's a certain fighter, I would just say marvelous, but some fighters were unbelievable middleweight.
He misses with that jab. Very close round with 10 seconds to go. Talk about Roy Jones in that last round. Well, we're entering desperation mode here. There's the bell for round 4. So the fight will continue. How do they turn things around?
This is one of those situations. You've just been hurt. You've got to get out there again. Be smart, be sharp. Don't be a fool, don't get suckered in. Make him fight your fight. Hold him, tie him up, just until your head clears again and your legs come back again. Because if you don't, he's gonna pop you off.
Here's a scoring blow. That counter shot lands. There's no way this fighter can go punch for punch. Their resistance to these blows just isn't the same.
Todd, you know what? Sometimes when I've done in the ring with fights like that and you punch them, you just want to run. You want that spaceship to come and lift you out there because you think, what the hell am I going to do now?
Nice counter. You couldn't write a script like this. This is like Rocky versus Apollo. The straight right just misses. Energy and endurance are not an issue for this fighter who continues to be aggressive as the rounds wear on.
Look back in the history books, some of the best fighters in the world were the middleweights. Yes, the glamour division is the heavyweights, we know. But I'm telling you now, you look like these guys are on it. Fast, sharp, powerful. It hurts, and you can imagine that being you. They're the size of an average man.
What a round so far as we've reached the halfway point.
Skill for skill, tap for tap. She's like a match made in heaven.
Both of these men showing exceptional chins, by the way. What heart, what desire, but at what cost? So much firepower here. And he wasn't ready for that counter punch. Gotta let your hands go a little bit. It's okay to be aggressive now. This round's still up for grabs with just 10 seconds to go. About Roy Jones in that last round. Pretty dominant round there. Let's see how they respond here in the next round.
You can't leave it up to the judges. It's up to you as the fighter. And the cornerman's got to put a firecracker on the...
And there's the bell for round 5. That last round was huge for him, Johnny. How does he keep the momentum going?
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
Power is obviously the great equalizer in boxing, but when you know your opponent is relying on that so heavily, how do you deal with it?
It's the one who draws first blood, Todd. That's what you've got to look at. If you can hit and you know you're in there with a banger, you've got to be on it, but you've got to be confident.
Both men step back for just a moment. The straight right just misses. You've heard the phrase, finding a second win. I don't think I need to tell you which one of these fighters needs to find it.
Now this is about desire. This is about character. This is about want.
Those counter punches have to hurt. Just missed with that jab. A very competitive round here so far.
Perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them more than happy.
And just as quickly as it slows down, it heats back up. was thrown with some bad intention. In the early rounds of a fight, you'll see two boxers feel each other out, test each other's power, and I think this boxer has decided I can walk through anything that lands.
I've seen some fighters with a granite chin. You can hit them with a sledgehammer, they are not going to move. But then I've seen some mad punchers with a chin like a crisp. As soon as you touch them, they're gone. And this is the danger spot.
Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. Threw the uppercut, but did not score. A very competitive round with 10 seconds left. I'm worried about these two fighters gassing out as this fight goes on.
You cannot gas out if you prepared right, slept right, ate right, and did everything right for this fight. You have no excuse.
Nice round. Good round.
There's the bell to start round 6. Not sure these two fighters can keep up the pace we saw last round, but you know they're going to try.
Exerted a lot of energy in the fight so far. Now they're shattered. This is what you call championship rounds. If you have done the work, slept right, ate right, prepped right, I'm expecting you to get through this. If not, if you cheated, the ring can be the loneliest place in the world.
I think I'm holding on here for a minute. The work rate is down. The head isn't moving as well, Johnny. Fatigue is starting to set in.
What can they change? Can they slow the pace down? Can they hope to knock them out early? What can they do? They've got to concentrate and relax. Because you know what you can do in the gym, you can do it in a fight. They've got to relax.
Every time he throws a punch, a receipt is coming right back. That jab doesn't find a home. Not a lot of punch output. Thought there might be more action here. Back and forth they go. Neither fighter willing to back down.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
Nice counter punch right up the middle. He misses with that jab. Talk about punches and bunches. That's the mantra for this fighter with that exceptional hand speed.
This can be so frustrating when you're under such a fast fighter that can throw 3-4 shot combinations before you've even let one off. That creates frustration, and that's when it gets hard.
Is he going to punch himself out, though? Nice counter shot. Straight right just misses. Jab slightly off target. You know the scorecards are going to be all over the place in this one. Now you start wondering how much work these two fighters did in the gym.
This is when you talk about championship material.
It's a bad round, all right, but we don't care. Go out there and win this next.
Here comes round 7. Let's see how much recovery they saw there in the last minute.
An amazing pace and tempo set in the last round. Can you keep this up? Me personally, I don't think that's possible. And if they can, their training, their conditioning would have been ridiculous, like they're in the army. But these guys, if they can keep up this pace, we are in for a great night.
As we burn through these rounds, this aggressive fighter continues to come forward, seemingly with endless energy, Johnny.
I've seen some aggressive fighters. They can terrorize the life out of you before they've even thrown a shot. The strength they have, the speed they have, and that knockout punch, they want to punch through you. They don't want to punch you. They want to punch straight through you. So you've got to be careful.
One moment changes everything, especially in this division. Good counter punch. They both want a knockout, you can tell. How about that time counter shot? Caution being thrown to the wind. And forth they go in this round. The momentum continues to shift.
Perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them. More than happy.
Well, just a couple rounds left, Johnny. What's your assessment so far?
You've got to be courageous when you get in there with someone that's bigger, stronger, and faster. You've just got to use brain there.
Stamina is off the charts. They miss with the jab. Not a lot of punch output. Thought there might be more action here. Nice punch. This round could go either way. 10 seconds to go. You've heard the old phrase, this might come down to who wants it more, but it might come down to who's in better shape.
There's a lot on the line here.
Get back out there and win the round.
And we enter the 8th round. Fatigue is setting in. Let's see how they handle it here in this round.
What are they doing that round? Are they trying to get an earning out? That's a lot of energy burst. They did 6 rounds in one. They're going to be absolutely shattered.
You've seen all the famous boxing movies, the training scenes, the gym work. That's what it all boils down to. Who's going to have more endurance?
Midway through the fight, if you are tired, this can be the loneliest place in the world. If you cheated, now we're going to find out.
A lot of effort being exerted here. And this is a you hit me hard, I'll hit you hard type of fight. Nope, that uppercut does not score. One of the best attributes to have in boxing has nothing to do with boxing. It's how well you can take a punch to the face.
Work the body, frustrate them, take the mind off the chin, take the mind off protecting everything around that. Work the body, use tactics. Sometimes it's so hard to actually outbox a fight and beat them on points.
For those who thought this would be a mismatch, you are sorely wrong.
Skill for skill, tap for tap. She's like a match made in heaven.
You'd like to see more jabs. When are we going to see a jab from these two? You'd like to see more jabs. Beautiful counter punch. This fighter has been extremely aggressive so far, Johnny, but how do they keep it up over the distance of this fight?
How do you deal with an aggressive fighter? What you do is you fight fire with fire. You either give it them back because that's where they're comfortable, or you play calm, play cool.
Both men step back for just a moment. Despite what the judges' scorecards read, there are no losers. Oh, wait a minute! Can you believe it? Roy Jones Jr. is on the back foot now. How do you feel about that split decision victory, Johnny?
A split decision? How one-sided does it have to be? A split decision? Who's doing this job? Todd, tell me, come on, talk to me, man. That is not a split decision. Ridiculous.